before we bring them up here, I am also going to kind of talk about our farm. We got everything okay? Is it not on? Oh. Hey. That's 1, 2. Hey. Is it better now? You all heard that, though, didn't you? Because I project. No, I project. All right, so then the other thing I want to talk about real quick is we are hemp farmers. So yes, now we have an adult use cannabis law in Minnesota. So you will be seeing recreational marijuana here very soon. But we grow industrial hemp, which is cannabis, but it's low THC, and we will continue to do that. We are not going to get a marijuana license. We want to grow industrial hemp, and that's what we're going to do. So we have Hemp Maze, Minnesota at our farm up in Willows Keep Farm in Zumbrota, where we educate and inform the public about cannabis. And we, this weekend, are opening our Canada Disc Golf Course. So we have a disc golf course, a 13-hole golf course where you actually play Frisbee disc golf through the cannabis fields. So it's a lot of fun. We started that last year, and then our hemp maze, they're little wee babies right now. We planted that at the beginning or end of May, and unfortunately, like all the other farmers, we haven't had any rain. So we are out there doing what we can. We've got a sprinkler on the field, and we're getting it to grow, but it's slowly coming up. But that will grow to about 15 feet high, and you will see that this coming summer. So if you want to come out to the farm and enjoy Hemp Maze, Minnesota and Canada Disc Golf, please do. We also have a tour, so you can take a tour and learn all you want about legislation and cannabis and just the history of industrial hemp in Minnesota, because we've been actually growing it. It has been growing in Minnesota since 1942 during the war effort, and that's why you have Minnesota ditchweed all over Minnesota. So please come check us out. We also have our products here at the theater, so we do sell CBD, and we also sell now the low-dose THC products. So we have products that have no THC in it, and we do have products that have THC in it. And as you know, CBD, it's a wonderful, I should say, supplement. I'm not going to say a medicine because I'm not on the medical side, but it can help with pain, it can help with sleep. There's a lot of different things it can help with. We do have an endocannabinoid system in our body, and you do have receptors in your brain, your spinal column, throughout your nervous system, and in your internal organs. So it makes sense that you have a relationship with this plant. And yes, recreational marijuana is right around the corner, and if you want to, you can grow 8 plants come August 1st. I could go on and on about that, but I'm actually not really for all the opening up of the cannabis industry. But that's another discussion you can have with me later. The other thing we're doing here at the theater is we are in the midst of a facelift on the front of the theater. So I have new windows on the front of the theater, and I just got the siding in today. So we are going to be hitting that hard, but we're going to have a brand new facade on the front of the theater, and it's going to look, it's called True Log. It looks like a log siding, but it's actually a steel siding, so it'll last hopefully a long time, and I will not have to maintain it like log siding. But it will match the old pine theater, so do look for that improvement outside on the front of the theater this summer. And you probably noticed if you were outside, we do have our patio open, and there's tables out there and chairs if you want to sit there during intermission. And one more thing about intermission, a buddy of mine and his family own Tribute Soda Fountain, which is right across the street, and they're open until 9 p.m. tonight. So if you want some really good ice cream and you want to go into an old soda fountain, go ahead and check that out at the intermission as well. So without further ado, I want to welcome to the stage the Edgar Loudermilk Band.
Thank y'all so much. The only rule we have is y'all have to have fun with us, okay? All right, you boys ready?
Man, yeah. When they asked how a train like that can jump the track, wasn't there anything you could do?
I'll just say no
And put the blame on you. Train like that can jump the track, wasn't there anything you could do?
I'll just say no
and put the blame on you. When they asked how a good train like that can jump the track, wasn't there anything you could do?
I'll just say no
and put the blame on you. When they asked how a good train like that can jump the track, wasn't there anything you could do?
I'll just say no
and put the blame on you.
I'll just say no
and put the blame on you.
Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for coming out here. Great to be here with you fine folks this evening. We are all singer-songwriters. A lot of stuff that you hear from us is original music. We all write songs. That was one that original one that we had, one of the latest singles off of our previous project. And we'll do another original song for you if that's okay. And this is one that I wrote years ago. I lived in the Carolinas, so naturally I wrote a few songs about the Carolinas. And this is one that we get a lot of requests for, one I wrote years ago back in the late 90s, and this is one called That Little Girl of Mine in Carolina. Everything I've had in life, it hadn't went too well. I spent my time searching for that empty bag of wealth. I grabbed for things that didn't matter with every step I've made. And now that she is gone away, I'll never be the same. My big chance may come tomorrow, and it'll be one again I'll not find. I may spend all my days here in sorrow, just searching for that big silver lining, just trying my best to get back there to that little girl of mine in Carolina. I never took the time for all the things that mattered most. I should have spent more time at home instead of chasing ghosts. I never thought to worry while the prize was in my eyes. And now I know the devil was that rich man in disguise. My big chance may come tomorrow, and it'll be one again I'll not find. I may spend all my days here in sorrow, just searching for that big silver lining, just trying my best to get back there to that little girl of mine in Carolina. Now every man must pay the price for all the steps he takes. So maybe I can change the path before it is too late. I know where I belong is with that little girl of mine. To Caroline I'm a-going while I still got precious time. My big chance may come tomorrow, and it'll be what again I'll not find. I may spend all my days here in sorrow, just searching for that big silver lining, just trying my best to get back there to that little girl of mine in Carolina. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. That's a recording I had on Mountain Fever Records, and I'll go back. That's one I recorded several years ago. I think I recorded that project in 2013. We have several of those CDs back there with us. We have about 7 albums, and we have some of the CDs in the back here, and I'll do another one from my second project on Mountain Fever Records. I traveled with a band called Third Time Out for about 7 years. Y'all ever heard of the bluegrass band Third Time Out, Russell Moore and Third Time Out? It was I was talking to Kevin over here before the show. I've been privileged to be in this business for over 20 years, but I was a huge Third Time Out fan for years and years, and getting a chance to go on the road with Mr. Russell Moore was a big deal for me, and I loved those years. They're very fruitful for me. From about 2006 to 2013, I traveled in that band. We spent a lot of time on the road, and I'll never forget, we were headed out west, and I was sitting in the front of the bus, and we were coming from back east, and we first caught a glimpse of the Rocky Mountains. And when you're going across that flat country and you see those mountains in the distance, they're pretty majestic, aren't they? Those big mountain ranges sitting out there. And I had a thought. I thought, can you imagine being back into the pioneer days when they were cutting their way west, and they were doing this with mule teams and pickaxes, and they got to those mountains and realized they had to cut their way through. Now, me being from Georgia, I would have just turned around and went back to the house about then. But they kept working their way west. That's what built America. Back then, folks were homesteading. They were staking claim on land. And I wrote this song from the angle, all the land on this side of the mountain's been claimed, and these families are trying to find a place to settle, and they have nowhere to land because all the land is claimed up. And in order for them to make a go of things, they're going to have to take on those mountains and cut through those mountains to form a town on the other side of those mountains. This is one of our most requested songs, and we'll do it here this evening for you. And this is one called The Town of Shady Green. To go and do this dreadful chore, to go and build a homestead town past the mountain said before. Gathered up our goods and crops for several families that were poor. Now all of us together have a plan for something more. The mountain tall is standing there in the path that we must lead. Hope and pray we can make it through with shovels and mule teams. Mountains mean and it's hard to cross if you don't have what you need. Gonna cut this path that'll take us through the town of Shady Green. We all knew the path we chose, it may not go as planned, but times were tough and people had claimed fertile land. We all knew our fates lie in the strength of all our hands. Hey, may we stand together to try and beat that mountain man. The mountain tall is standing there in the path that we must lead. Hope and pray we can make it through with shovels and mule teams. Mountains mean and it's hard to cross if you don't have what you need. Gonna cut this path that'll take us through the town of Shady Green. cut the path and made it through, now on the downward climb. Weathered, beaten, tired from that awful mountainside. Grass is greener on this side from what our eyes have seen. Now there stands a valley of this town of Shady Green. The mountain tall was standing there in the path that we did lead. Hope we prayed we made it through with shovels and mule teams. Mountains mean and it's hard to cross if you don't have what you need. We cut this path that took us through the town of Shady Green. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. We've been used to playing outside festivals here, and we come inside this perfect environment, and my bass is jumping tune on me. He's not used to such good conditions, Zach.
Yeah, me either.
This is wonderful. It sounds great in here. What do y'all think of this? Nice indoor theater, sounds great, listening room. It always is a treat for a band to get a chance to play great sound in here too. What about a brand new song? Y'all want to hear something new? We got a brand new one. We've only done this once.
We left Kentucky this morning about 4:30 this morning and took off. Edgar called the time last night, and we were like, what time do we want to leave, boys? We need to leave pretty early. He was very kind-hearted. He said, let's bump that leave time from 4 to 4:30. I was like, thank you, boss.
They were very happy about
Very
that, folks.
happy.
But we'll try a brand new song. We've got a new project coming up, and we are in the studio now recording a lot of new material. And we've only done this song once, but if y'all don't mind, we'll try a new song, and y'all can give us thumbs up or thumbs down, right? But this is a brand new song for this upcoming record, and I got the idea for this one. I was driving through Cincinnati. We travel on the road a lot, and I was going through the city there in Cincinnati, and I saw the city look beautiful in the rearview mirror. I looked up in the mirror and saw the city behind me, and I thought, the city's really pretty. Cincinnati is there, and it gave me the idea for this song here as I passed through Cincinnati, and this is going to be on our upcoming project, and we'll do it this evening for you. And this is one called When I Drive Through Cincinnati. I'm on the road and always know familiar things that I've been shown. I never seem to get you off my mind, but I've come to find and realize that when I had you by my side, I never should have ever let you go. When I drive through Cincinnati, I get a lonesome shiver in my spine. All those times in Cincinnati, and I think about the girl I left behind. In the mirror, lights look awful dim. In the places that we both have been, I long to be right back there by your side. But it seems that I'm just passing through, and all the things that we once knew I'll hold within my heart until I die. When I drive through Cincinnati, I get a lonesome shiver in my spine. All those times in Cincinnati, and I think about the girl I left behind. It time it always tells. When I drive through Cincinnati, I get a lonesome shiver in my spine. All those times in Cincinnati, and I think about the girl I left behind. Yeah, I think about the girl I left behind. Thank you so much. It's a brand new one for our upcoming project there, one we wrote. All righty, I'm going to start introducing these fellas, and I'm going to start with the mandolin player down here. He comes all the way from Jefferson, Georgia to be here with you folks tonight. He's a great mandolin player, a great songwriter, fiddle player, lead singer, harmony singer. We've been traveling for about 10 years on the road now, and I love this guy dearly. So y'all make welcome the one and only Mr. Zach Autry down here on the mandolin and vocals.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Thanks for coming out and seeing us. We have a little bit of a tour going this week, and thank you all for joining us. We don't often get up to this part of the country, up to Minnesota. We played the Mabatma Festival several years ago. And how many of you have been to the Mabatma Festival before? Anybody? It's a really, really good event. They have week-long camps and workshops and stuff, and some really good bands. And we had a good time there. We fell in love with some great folks from up here, and we really haven't played much since then, but I'm hoping to change that and hope that if we come back up here, you guys will come back out and see us, and we can play for you. This one here is Bluegrass song, right? Yeah. This one here is one written by Bobby Osborne. Do we have any Osborne Brothers fans here with us today? Bobby and Sonny were the first Newgrass. They were the first kind of rock and roll band influence to hit bluegrass. Bobby and Sonny. And this one is actually before they plugged in and before they became sort of a semi-bluegrass, semi-rock band that they were. Bobby wrote this song in the early 50s, and Flatt and Scruggs recorded it, and it was a big treat, I'm sure, for Bob, who was a young man at the time. But I first heard it on the album called the Bluegrass Album Band, the first volume of that great series. And we'll get Mr. Anthony down here to kick it off on the banjo, one entitled The Pain in My Heart. Now when I first met you right from the start, you know that I love you from the pain in my heart. So look in my eyes and see that it's true, and say that you love me and don't make me blue. With pain in my heart and blues on my mind, I'll always love you, but can you be mine? Can you be mine with another man's name? You know that I love you and I'm not to blame. Now say that you love me, that you'll be mine, with pain in your heart and blues on your mind. Just say that you love me, don't say goodbye. Oh, you know that I love you, for you I would die. With pain in my heart and blues on my mind, I'll always love you, but can you be mine? Can you be mine with another man's name? You know that I love you and I'm not to blame. First met you right from the start, you know that I love you from pain in my heart. So look in my eyes and see that it's true, and say
but can you be mine? Can you be mine with another man's name? You know that I love you and I'm not to blame. With pain in my heart and blues on my mind, I'll always love you, but can you be mine? Can you be mine with another man's name? You know that I love you and I'm not to blame.
Mr. Zach Autry on that one for you, folks. Thank you so much, thank you. We'll do a song here for you now. This is one that's on our current project on Rural Rhythm Records. This is another song I wrote, and this song actually is one of the ones we found out about 2 weeks ago. There's an awards at the Grand Ole Opry this year. It'll be in October. It's called the Josie Music Awards, the JMAs, and we've got 5 nominations at the Josie Awards this year, and we're up for Songwriter of the Year, Vocalist of the Year, Band of the Year, Album of the Year, and Song of the Year. So we're really excited. Thank you. And this song we're about to do is the one that's up for Song of the Year. And this one means a lot for me, being nominated for Song of the Year, because it's a song I wrote for my daughters. I have 2 daughters at home, and this was my song to them when they were very young. My daughters were probably 6 and 8 when I wrote this song, very young. And I didn't want to record it when I wrote it, and I knew I was going to record it, but the timing wasn't right. I wanted to wait a few years. Now my daughters are 14 and 16, going into these later high school years, and I thought the timing was appropriate to do this song for them that I wrote. But it's a song for all daughters. This song here, I reached out to other artists, and if you go to our band page, the Edgar Loudermilk band page, I reached out to all the artists that have daughters, like Miss Rhonda Vincent that we used to work for. She sent me pictures of her and her daughters. Becky Buller from up here in Minnesota sent me pictures of her and her daughter. Shannon Slaughter, a lot of artists. If you go to our page, we did a music video that features all the artists and their little ones, all their little girls and their daughters in this video. And it's one for all daughters, one that I wrote for my daughters years and years ago, and it's up for Song of the Year at the Josie Music Awards, and we'll do it here this evening for you. And it's a song called I Hope She Sings. There's a lot of things I've learned on this way of life I've chose. Things don't always go my way, it's just the way it goes. But in her eyes in this world I stand tall. I hope that I can be a help to show her just how much a loving life can mean. I hope she sings, I hope she prays, does her things in her own ways. I hope she'll dance, I hope she's free from the things in life that could tie her down. I hope she sings. As I watch the years go by, I never could have known how one could make me feel so proud. It's precious how she's grown, but I know I led her to this place. I have to set her free, help her spread her wings to fly. She's beautiful to me. I hope she sings, I hope she prays, in her own ways. I hope she'll dance. I hope she's free from the things in life that could tie her down. I hope she sees. I hope she'll dance. I hope she's free from the things in life that could tie her down. I hope she sees. Thank you. It's a song for daughters, David. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do the one drop, Zach? Right. We'll get Zach to sing one that's on our current project. This is a gospel number. Y'all like gospel music? We love the gospel stuff too. We get a lot of requests for this. We've been doing this one for several years, and Zach brought this to the band, and we included it on this project on Rural Rhythm. We'll get him to tell you about this one and sing it for you.
Yes, thank you, Edgar. This is on that previous project, like you said. It's a hymn, but it's not a very old hymn, and it's one that doesn't really go over anybody's head. There's a lot of meat on the bone there for anybody that is looking for something to get out of it. It tells a good message, and a simple message, and it's entitled "The One Drop That He Shed Just for Me."
The man from Galilee hang upon the cruel tree. He was dying for sinners like me. And as the blood came dripping down from the cross into the ground, there was one drop that he shed just for me. Oh, just for me and the sins of my soul. For he cleansed and made me free and whole. Now as the blood came dripping down from the cross into the ground, there was one drop that he shed just for me. Now when they pierced his precious side, God forgive them, now he cried. There a pardon was extended to me. And as the blood and water came flowing from his precious veins, there was one drop that he shed just for me. Just for me and the sins of my soul. For he cleansed and made me free and whole. Now as the blood came dripping down from the cross into the ground, there was one drop that he shed just for me. Now when with all the saints I stand over in the happy land, and its beauty forever I will see. Well, I will look on Jesus' face, and I will thank him for his grace, and that one drop that he shed just for me. Oh, just for me. the sins of my soul. For he cleansed and made me free and whole. Now as the blood came dripping down from the cross into the ground, there was one drop that he shed just for me. Now as the blood came dripping down from the cross into the ground, there was one drop that he shed just for me. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll do another new song for y'all if that's okay. Y'all mind if we try another one of our new ones? This is one that's going to be on our upcoming project. We just signed with Pine Castle Records. I had a project with Pine Castle around 2016, and we just signed again with Pine Castle Records, and we're in the studio releasing this new project. And this next song is actually the title track. This is our current, fixing to be a single. It's going to be released in the next couple of weeks here. And this is a really cool song, folks. This is about a famous Mustang. Y'all like, has anybody ever seen wild Mustangs out in the wild? We love horses. And the guy who wrote this is a fella named Jerry Edgar. He's actually a bluegrass syndicated DJ, and he has a show called the Old Hippie Bluegrass Show. If you get a chance, look up the Old Hippie Bluegrass Show. Those guys have way too much fun, and it's a hoot to listen to them. I met him years ago, and one thing about Jerry is he's spirited. He's very spirited with everything that he does, and he loves to go out west to see wild Mustangs in their habitat. And he told me about this horse, and they wrote this song about this horse. The most famous wild Mustang of all times was one called Picasso. Have you ever heard of Picasso? He was a wild Mustang in the San Wash Basin out in Colorado. He lived over 30 years in the wild. They tried to trap this horse. Nobody could catch him. He was untouchable. And he got his name because somebody actually tagged him with the name Picasso because they said he was so beautiful, he looked like a Picasso painting. And people would come from all over the world to try to catch pictures of this horse. And when Jerry played this song, he wrote it with his dear friend Rick Lang. Jerry Eicher and Rick Lang wrote this song about this horse. I said, please hold this for us. If you don't mind, I would love to record it. He gave us his blessing, and we've got it on this new project. It's going to be our next single, and Picasso's story needs to be told. So if you get a chance, look up Picasso. You can see a bunch of videos and pictures of this horse. And I love the idea of doing this song wrapped around Picasso. This is one called My Picasso. They say he got his power from the Colorado sky, struck by a lightning bolt the 4th day of July. San Wash Basin, that's where he made his home. The wildest horse those parts had ever known. A stallion so elegant, so sleek and so lean, stood out from the herd with his coat of brown and cream. Bait traps wouldn't catch him, he knew how to survive. Became a celebrity, the fastest horse alive.
Picasso, mighty Mustang,
running wild and running free.
shining knight with your black mane.
One day they will crown you king. You'll never feel the weight of a saddle or the tug of a lasso. My Picasso. When stallions charge in battle, will they slash upon his throat? Footprints striking hard, tearing at his coat. Picasso was so valiant and always stood his ground. Although he was fearless, he knew when to back down. Horses still run wild in in the deserts way out west. But there is only one who gained the most respect. Picasso, we came through, galloped in stride to honor him. All the other stallions still beside.
Picasso, mighty Mustang,
Running wild and running free.
shining knight with your black mane.
One day they will crown you king. You'll never feel the weight of a saddle or the tug of a lasso. My Picasso, my Picasso. My Picasso. Thank you. That'll be on the upcoming record. I'll do a song for you here. This is one I recorded several years ago. My first project on Mountain Fever Records, probably about 2005. I wrote this song back in the 90s. This was my due-paying years, folks. You know how everybody has to pay their dues. Well, I was in college working third shift actually at a cotton mill from 12 midnight to 8 in the morning. And I would leave work and I could get to college at 8:30. My professor would let me come in late. And I would go to school during the day and then go home, sleep a little bit, and do it all over again all week. Just so on weekends, I could drive 3 hours away and pretty much play for tips with this bluegrass music. So I was paying a lot of dues, but having a lot of fun. And it's a lot of my early stuff. I did a lot of songwriting. Some of the first stuff I was trying my hand with writing was back in that band, a band called Carolina Crossfire. And a lot of that stuff ended up on my first project on Mountain Fever Records. And I'll do one of these old songs here for you, and this is one I wrote probably around 1997. And this is one called Carolina Dreams.
Carolina dream.
I'll tell you the place you wanna see. No one else is there but you and me. I know that you alone is all I need while I'm in my Carolina dream.
Meet me in my Carolina dreams. Nothing but a happy love it seems.
For I know in my mind your love I'll always find
When you meet me in my Carolina dreams. Meet me in my Carolina dreams. Nothing but a happy love it seems.
For I know in my mind your love I'll always find
When you meet me in my Carolina dreams.
Thank you. We'll do this one here. I had somebody ask me about some old country music. Y'all like old country music out here? We do too. And I love a fella named Don Williams. Y'all like Don Williams? He had one of the smoothest voices in country music. I always loved a big catalog of stuff too. It's easy to overlook just how many hits the guy had. He had hit after hit, and I love to go back and listen to his catalog of music. And we'll do a classic old number. Somebody was asking me about some of his stuff earlier. And we'll do one that we love to do, my grandma's favorite song by Don here. And this is one of his classic numbers called Till the Rivers All Run Dry.
Till the rivers all run dry, until the sun falls from the sky, until life on earth is through. I'll be needing you. I know sometimes you may wonder, from little things I say and do, but there's no need for you to wonder if I need you, 'cause I'll need you till the rivers all run dry, until the sun falls from the sky, until life on earth is through. I'll be needing you. Too many times I don't tell you. Too many things get in the way. But even though sometimes I hurt you, still you show me in every way, till the rivers all run dry, until the sun falls from the sky, until life on earth is through. I'll be needing you until life on earth is through. I'll be needing you.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. All righty, I'm going to introduce this fella on this acoustic guitar here this evening for you. This guy comes from Snellville, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. I've been playing music with him for 25 to 30 years. I met this guy a long time ago at a place called the Everett Music Barn. And it's a local jam scene. You know, however, for pickers, you need a place to all go jam together and meet other players, you know. Well, this place is an old house. It actually has a barn in the back with a stage where they have stage shows. But in this old house, there's like 5 bedrooms, living rooms, and people pick and jam in all the rooms of this house. So all the pickers, the known pickers from the area, would always go flood this house and just have jam sessions till like 3 and 4 in the morning. I met this guy 25 years ago in one of those rooms back there in that house. And we loved his guitar playing back then. So a year ago, or a year and a half ago now, I called him up when the position here in this band come open. I said, man, I've always loved your playing and wanted to see if you'd be interested to come out on the road with us. We play over 100 shows a year, travel the country over, and you can come out and play this bluegrass music and make tens and tens of dollars.
Fool that I am, I fell for it.
And we're so glad when he said yes. So y'all give it up for Mr. Jamie Pittman on this acoustic guitar.
Thank you, thank you. This is, I believe, my first gig ever in the state of Minnesota. I don't think the other guys can say that. We still got some squealing on this mic, but thank you for making me feel so welcome. Do we have any flat-picking fans in the audience? Guitars say Doc Watson. Ring a bell for anybody? Oh, good. Awesome. How about Tony Rice? Anybody heard of that guy? We can be friends. We're going to be fine. This is a song that I grew up hearing both of them do at separate times, and it occurred to me since last time I gave this speech together once on, I believe, Blake and Rice, too. They played it together. So we're going to do it now for you, called Salt Creek.
All right, thank y'all so much. We got time for one more. We've got some CDs back here, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and do this again. We're going to play another set, but we're going to take a intermission. Everybody stretch your legs and everything. We do have some CDs, and we'd love to visit with y'all. But we're going to do one more here and take a break. And I'm going to introduce this guy over here on the banjo on this one. Didn't give him an introduction yet. He comes from Kosciuszko, Mississippi. Y'all ever heard of Kosciuszko? Who's heard of Kosciuszko?
One person has heard of Kosciuszko.
Yes.
That is surprising. That's about 5 more than I expected. I'm sorry? North Moss Point. That's right. Man, I'll tell you what. I feel right at home.
Hometown crowd.
Yeah, hometown crowd.
Well, I'll tell you what. Since you're from there, you might know how to spell it. Can you spell Mississippi? Ah, man, I'm sorry. That's wrong. See, you say Mississippi, it's spelled M-I-S-I-P-I, Mississippi. They're not going to teach you that in the schools.
Well, this guy is the Mississippi State Banjo Champion, y'all, over here on the 5-string banjo. He also is... He makes great banjo straps, that's right. If you need a strap, this guy will fix you up. He was nominated this year at IBMA for the Momentum Instrumentalist of the Year this past year. And we love him dearly, y'all. Keep it up for Mr. Anthony Howell over here on the 5. We'll get him to kick this old one off here. It's on our last project, and we'll be back in just a little bit. But here's one for you called John Henry. And her name was Polly Ann. Now Johnny got sick and had to go to bed. Polly drove still like a man, log, log. Polly drove still like a man.
helps to just leave me wide open as you can without feedback, because I work the mic, I'll back off.
Okay.
Things like that. But if you keep pushing papers up and down on me,
Yeah.
that's what happens. Go.
Hey,
How you doing?
doing good.
Nice to see
Nice
you.
to see you.
Sound good.
Thank you.
This is the last one, huh?
Yep, until
Until-
September.
And what do you got coming in September?
I haven't even really looked, so. got a band called Real Imaginary Numbers, rhythm and blues group, the 45 Archive Band, which is 1960s music.
Nice.
And that's it for September so far. And it closed on October. And he doesn't have anything set up in November or December yet.
That's awesome. What a night.
Yeah.
Sorry we were late. My sister-in-law's birthday.
That's what I remember hearing.
back yet. Y'all ready for round 2 out there?
1, 2, check 1, 2,
Check
check
1,
1, 2.
1, 2.
Check 1, check 1, 2.
We certainly did enjoy hanging out with you guys and talking with you there in the hallway, and looking forward to finishing this second. Thank you, sir. Looking forward to finishing this second set here and throwing some more bluegrass to y'all. Anybody like jokes? Jokes, okay. Good ones. There once was a girl from Nantucket. Now kidding. Kidding. No, don't do
I
that.
want to hear him finish this.
No, you don't. I'm not allowed to say them words. Mama says.
We'll do this one here for you. This is one called the Georgia Mountain Man. Well, I was born in an old barn by the cabin Daddy made. The first of 7 kids, we were Georgia Mountain raised. Mama kept us at the Bible, Daddy kept us on the plow. Hard work could help us make it through when rain that God allowed.
I can't wait to see my Georgia Mountain roll.
It's a sight to see how the sun comes up and lights those hills at dawn.
My baby's waiting for me to let me take her hand and made a home in the hills so high with Georgia Mountain Man.
That crops were raised, the game we chased, that's what kept us fed. Times were hard at Red Clay Hills, I remember Daddy said. The only sign of money came from corn there in his hand. Working hard, it was a way of life for a Georgia Mountain Man.
I can't wait to see my Georgia Mountain roll.
It's a sight to see how the sun comes up and lights those hills at dawn.
My baby's waiting for me to let me take her hand and made a home in the hills so high with Georgia Mountain Man.
I'm headed to the home place that Mom and Daddy gave to the Georgia boy and the mountain girl whose hand I took today. A home up in the mountain, there couldn't be a better way to raise a family right from this Georgia mountain clay.
I can't wait to see my Georgia Mountain roll.
It's a sight to see how the sun comes up and lights those hills at dawn.
My baby's waiting for me to let me take her hand and made a home in the hills so high with Georgia Mountain Man.
This bass is having fun too.
It's one good thing about being a mandolin player. We just all know it's going to be out of tune. That takes the pressure off. Bass is like those basses. Edgar's other bass thing goes in tune in like January, and he's like, "Well, I won't have to tune it again till Christmas." And he's right. This mandolin, as soon as I get it out of the case, it's like, I'm stuffy, out of tune. I'm too cold, out of tune. It's too humid in here, out of tune. It feels just right, out of tune. Yes.
No, this is a new bass. I'm really loving it. It's a great bass, but it had sit under a bed for like 30 years. So I'm just now waking her up. You know what I mean? She's just now getting used to the elements. But it's an awesome bass, and I'm recording with this one. So it's a Roth, a 1956 Roth bass, and I'm really enjoying getting it out here. We'll do another Don Williams number. How about that? This is one we recorded on our previous project. And this is one that I really enjoyed, an old one of his called All I'm Missing Is You. Well, I go to places we like to go. I do the things we like to do. Familiar faces that we both know, and all I'm missing is you.
Don't ask me how I'm getting along, because there's really nothing new. Everything's about the same since you've gone,
and all I'm missing is you. Those same old memories are just as strong. Those same old dreams don't come true. The same old feeling, it goes on, and all I'm missing is you.
Don't ask me how I'm getting along, because there's really nothing new. Everything's about the same since you've gone,
and all I'm missing is you.
don't ask me how I'm getting along, because there's really nothing new. Everything's about the same since you've gone,
And all I'm missing is you. Thank you. We love that old Don Williams number. Thank you. I'll do a song here for you. It's one of our most requested songs, and I recorded this song while I was traveling with Third Time Out. I was a bass player, like I said earlier, for about 7 years with Russell Moore and Third Time Out. And when I first went to work for Russell, we were in the studio recording that first project, and I sang a song for him written by a dear friend of mine named Keith Spearman from upstate South Carolina. And when I sang this song for Russell, he said, "Man, I want you to sing this on this first record here that you're doing with us." And he asked me to sing lead. So I was extremely honored to have Russell Moore to ask me to sing lead on a Third Time Out record. And thank you. And to this day, it's one of our most requested songs. And it was just a beautiful song written by Mr. Keith Spearman. To me, it sounded like an old Osborne Brothers song, and I always loved this song. And we'll see if y'all remember this one. I recorded it in probably 2007 with Russell. And this is one called I'm Leaving Town Tomorrow.
I am leaving town tomorrow. I can't stay here, there's too much sorrow. I'll pack my bags, hit the highway. I must go go. I'm leaving town tomorrow.
I've got no ties to keep me here, and I can't see through all these tears. The one I love loves another. Now I'll go. I'm leaving town tomorrow.
I am leaving town tomorrow. I can't stay here, there's too much sorrow. I'll pack my bags, hit the highway. I must go, I'm leaving town tomorrow.
That road ahead, it's long and dreary. My head is bowed, life seems weary, 'cause I can't stay without her near me. Now I'll go, I'm leaving town tomorrow.
I am leaving town tomorrow. I can't stay here, there's too much sorrow. I'll pack my bags, hit the highway. I must go, I'm leaving town tomorrow. I'll pack my bags, hit the highway. I must go, I'm leaving town tomorrow.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you, thank you. We'll do another song for you here. This is another one I wrote. This is one I recorded on Pine Castle Records. I had a project that come out on Pine Castle Records in 2016, I think was the year. And this one here was close tied to where I grew up. I grew up in the hills of North Georgia. And I wrote this song with my dear friend Scott Mahaffey. He's a pilot for Delta, and we have a lot of writing sessions down on my farm in North Georgia. And he came over to the house, and we went down to my little lake and had a writing session. And we started writing this song from the angle of an old tree sitting on a family farm. And if this tree could talk and just tell the stories of the things that it has saw through the years on an old farm. How many of you got a tree on a farm, and you can only imagine if that tree could just talk, tell of the tales of the things that it saw, especially us when we was kids running around there doing all kind of stuff. Just wonder we made it, y'all. Well, this old tree, when I started writing it with Scott, I realized I was telling the story of the way I grew up on my papa's farm. My papa had a farm in North Georgia, and he was a preacher for about 50 years and a fiddle player for about 50 years. And all of us as a family, I lived next door to him, we would all work hard in the garden. We had a barn that set up on a hill with a garden spot by that barn and an old maple tree up by the barn. All of us would work really hard in that garden together, me and my brothers and cousins. Well, we had a trail that led from the garden spot down through the bottoms, a trail we had cut through the woods, and it went down to the creeks. Now, down there by the creeks, the beavers would dam it up, making perfect swimming holes and fishing holes down there. So all of us kids, we'd work hard in the garden, but my papa knew where us grandkids wanted to be. We wanted to be down there on the creek, either swimming or fishing. So when we'd get done working in the garden, he would walk that trail with us down from the garden, down through the bottoms. And any time we was down there, him being a preacher, he would tell us things of the Lord. And part of the tradition was we were going to get on our knees and pray down there by the creek. I remember the very log we would go to. He had a log that had washed up over there, and me and my cousins and brothers, we would get by that log and pray down there by the creek. Now, if this tree could talk, it sat up on the hill, it's seen us work in that garden, it's seen us walking that trail, and it's seen us praying down there by the creek. And I realized that was the story I was telling in this song, and we'll do it here, and it's the title track of that project on Pine Castle, and this is one called Georgia Maple. You watched me and Grandpa walk the trail down to the creek, and all the time we spent there praying on our knees. You You watched us plow the field up on the ridge out by the barn. And just like me, you were raised on Grandpa's farm. Georgia maple, always there standing tall. My life has come and gone, and you have seen it all. Georgia maple, you've been there standing tall. Hey, Georgia maple, you have seen it all. Now sometimes prayers are answered, it's still written in your bark. Now down upon my knees again, we vowed to make our start. That barn was moved and ground was broke to build our family home. Now just like you, I have ground now of my own. Georgia maple, always there standing tall. My life has come and gone, and you have seen it all. Georgia maple, you've been there standing tall. Hey, Georgia maple, you have seen it all. Now watching seasons turning like the dirt beneath the plow. God's rain upon your leaves, sweat upon our brow. It's just like Papa wanted, hard work, he passed it down. Beneath your shade, he now shares that fertile ground. Georgia maple, always there standing tall. My life has come and gone, and you have seen it all. Georgia maple, you've been there standing tall. Hey, Georgia maple, you have seen it all. Hey, Georgia maple, we have seen it all. Thank y'all so much. We'll do another one here that goes way back for me, that band I had, Carolina Crossfire. I'll do another one that goes back to the late 90s here, and this is one I recorded on that first project on Mountain Fever. Are y'all having fun out there this evening? Well, we sure are, and it's so good to be here with you fine folks. What a beautiful place, the Old Pine Theater. Do y'all like this venue here? Is this not awesome? Thanks so much for Ted and all the folks working hard. The sound sounds awesome back here, so y'all give it up for the sound man back here. He's doing a fine job. This room sounds wonderful, and it's great to be here at the Old Pine Theater. Hopefully we can come back and do this again when we come back this way. We'd love to see you folks work up this region more. Hopefully we'll work something out on that and get back up here again. But I'll do this song here, one I wrote probably about 1998, 1999. And this is one called The Rambler's Lament. I am a rambler, I'm all alone. I have no pleasure sitting here at home. Looking back, I know she's gone. Help me get away from these aching bones. For many years I've roamed around without a home, without a town. I realize and now I found, hey, that my own true love, she ain't around. Some travels, I've seen some days of a living life without a face, but now she holds me in my mind, and it makes my heart to boil for every time. and a loving wife to call my own. But I gave it up to chase my dream. And now I'm on the road and the price I've seen. Thank you so much. One called the Ramblers. Love me. I'll do one here for you. This is one we recorded on our previous project on Rural Rhythm Records. It's one wrote by a great songwriter in our music. If you hadn't heard of him, you've heard of his music. Everybody from Rhonda Vincent, Doyle Lawson, Third Time Out, record songs from this guy, and he's a great songwriter, and it's a fella named Mark Brinkman, if you've ever heard of Brinkman. Great songwriter and a dear friend of ours. We actually got a song with him, a co-write with him on this upcoming project that I wrote with Brink, and he had two on the previous one, but he called me on the phone. He said, Edgar, I've got a song I want to send you and let you check out to see what you think. I think it'll fit you guys. And it was one of those songs, he sent it to us, and we listened to it together as a band. And have y'all ever had a song that just hit home with you from the word go, from the first time you heard the song? This song got me. And it was wrote by Mr. Mark Brinkman, Jeff Elliott, and Mike Morgan. And he sent it over to me, and we listened to it. And I told y'all about my papa and my papa and granny. I live next door to them, and this song made me think about my grandparents. They had a house that everybody wanted to go to Papa and Granny's. My cousins, brothers, aunts, and uncles. I grew up at Papa and Granny. Anybody else do that? Grow up at your Papa and Granny's? That was me. I was a spoiled grandkid. I'm gonna fess up, y'all. I was a spoiled grandkid. It was so bad that my granny ironed my T-shirts. That's how bad it was. I didn't ask her to do that. She just did it. And at that time I was working third shift, and going to college too and all that. I lived with her those years. And I guess she looked at my T-shirt, Zach, and could tell I needed it. I don't know.
She has a servant's heart, man. She looked at a need and said, I'm going to be thrown into the fire and stand in the gap to fix those wrinkled T-shirts.
That's what it was.
Somebody's got to. He ain't
Somebody
going to.
has to, because I wasn't going to.
That was very dramatic.
But my granny's my jewel. She calls me every week and said, you going to come see me this week? She's 85. And every week, my granny still spoils me, y'all. She'll have turnip greens and cabbage and stuff ready when I get to the house, because she knows she's going to fix a big meal and tell me to come over. So I got to go see her when I get home this coming Tuesday. I got to go to Granny's. So Anthony may go with me. I don't know.
I will.
Says he will.
I'm an honorary spoiled grandchild.
Okay.
When it comes to turnip greens.
Well, we'll go see her when we get home. But this song here made me think about my grandparents, written by Mr. Mark Brinkman, and we related to it from the word go, and hope you can too. We'll do it for you this evening. It's one called In the House My Daddy Built, in the Home My Mama Made.
1, 2, 3.
Daddy was a carpenter, he was an honest working man. Well, he ruled us kids with velvet calloused hands. He broke his back from dawn till dusk to put food upon our plate. In the house my daddy built, in the home my mama made. Mama was a willing ear, a shoulder to cry on, a Bible verse each evening, and singing all day long. Her gentle way of giving was like living with a saint. In the house my daddy built, in the home my mama made.
Daddy raised the tempers, Mama raised us kids. Some said we were poor, but love made us rich.
I wouldn't trade a fortune for the way we were raised.
In the house my daddy built, in the home my mama made.
out to the homestead just the other day, and that house is standing strong, and memories don't fade. I placed some grateful flowers on Mom and Daddy's grave. Near that house my daddy built, in that home my mama made. Daddy raised the timbers, Mama raised us kids. Some said we were poor, but love made us rich. I wouldn't trade a fortune for the way we were raised. In the house my daddy built, in the home my mama made. I wouldn't trade a fortune for the way we were raised. In the house my daddy built, in the home my mama made. Thank you. Mr. Brinkman wrote that one, a great song by him. Thank you. We'll do another one here we wrote on our previous project. One I wrote with Mr. Zach down here. Zach Autry and me wrote this. We were coming out of Denver, Colorado on I-80, I think it was. Coming out of Denver. There's these big old canyon walls, and it's beautiful coming out of Denver there. Well, it was 3 in the morning. We were caught in a snowstorm. So those canyon walls were covered in snow. It was actually beautiful out, moonlit too.
Are y'all in the front? Are y'all in the front saying I-70? It sounded like somebody said I-70. It's one or the other.
It's one of the. We always say, is it 70 or 80? Is it 70? Okay, I-70 then. All right, 70. See there, trivia. We needed this. Pop quiz. I was wrong. I-70. We wrote this song. I don't know. I-80. We need to write one now. We got to make up for it. Well, we were going out I-70 in them canyon walls, and it was beautiful going out through there, and it put us in the mode of a cowboy, of a Western song. So we wanted to write a song, a Western, and we wrote this, and it's about a cowboy who catches himself in trouble, and he's on the run, like a lot of those Westerns you watch. But it's got the essence of the Old West card game wrapped in it, and it's one on our last project. Get Zach to kick it off, one myself and Zach Autry wrote called The Deal That Won't Go Down. 1, 2, 3. As I head into the mountains, I see the break of day. I've got many miles behind me and trouble on my way. 4 years I've been a rambler, I roam from town to town. I never got the notion I'd ever settle down. Many years I've been a gambler, but what else could I do? I had to get away from me and you. I left behind a fortune the night I left the town. I guess I made the deal that won't go down. I fell in love with a maiden, a lady of the night. She was beautiful and charming, but had a wandering eye. I was beat, bad Lord, and busted the night I saw the kiss from a tall and handsome cowboy with the one I loved the best. Many years I've been a gambler, but what else could I do? I had to get away from me and you. I left behind a fortune the night I left the town. I guess I made a deal that won't go down. I see the sun is setting on the snowy mountain tops. My body is so tired, Lord knows I cannot stop. You can't turn back the clock or choose another hand, and you can't take back a bullet when you've killed another man. Many years I've been a gambler, but what else could I do? I had to get away from me and you. I left behind a fortune the night I left the town. I guess I made the deal that won't go down. Thank y'all so much. All right, what about another cowboy song? Y'all like that cowboy music? We love that stuff. My grandpa loved John Wayne and old westerns. We sit and watch western channels all the time. I grew up with Clint Eastwood and John Wayne. And so these are kind of westerns in song. We were going out through New Mexico, actually, about a year and a half ago, I think it was. And we were going through cattle country. And you know how on those old westerns, the drovers are driving the cattle? Well, we were going through cattle country and thought, man, let's write a song about a cattle drive. I've heard other songs about cattle drives, so we wanted to write a song about a cattle drive. And so myself, Zach, and Jamie Pittman here wrote a song about a cattle drive while we were going through cattle country. It was beautiful country, New Mexico, Arizona. And we wrote this from the angle of an old cowboy that's up in years, right? And he's going to have to do it one more time for some reason, probably money. He's out there and he's decided he's got to do one more drive, but he finds himself in a lot of trouble along the way. And this is going to be another one off of our upcoming project, a brand new song written by myself, Zach Autry, and Jamie Pittman here. We have a lot of fun with this one, and it's telling the story of this old cowboy. And this is one called My Last Cattle Drive. 1, 2, 3, 4. We came here from the east in 1868. I lost a home and family in the war between the states. I'm old beyond my years from the snow and driving rain. The campfire and the whiskey, they help to ease the pain. We saddled up our horse with a team of 15 men to drive 1,000 head to the fork of Horseshoe Bend. Halfway through the journey as the wranglers bedded down, they had not made the count, that herd was scattered all around. High over mountains and across the great divide, I have traveled valleys and rivers deep and wide. This tired, broken body has covered many miles. Our fates lie in the cattle, we're driving through the night. I guess it's time to face it, my last cattle drive. I made the count myself, and it was plain to see that several hundred head, they were nowhere to be seen. I found where rustlers, they had tracked us there for many days, and where they split the cattle, they thought they got away. I trailed them down the river where the canyon walls surround. It was there where they saw me and I knew that I'd been found. I tried to make a break, but then they caught me at the pass. I see my boys are running, they're riding hard and fast. High over mountains and across the great divide, I have traveled valleys and rivers deep and wide. This tired, broken body has covered many miles. Our fates lie in the cattle, we're driving through the night. I guess it's time to face it, my last cattle drive. greener pasture with the cattle that we found. I'm bleeding in the saddle, but I know we're near the end. My last ride to home, I guess I'll never drive again. High over mountains and across the great divide, I have traveled valleys and rivers deep and wide. This tired, broken body has covered many miles. My fate lie in the cattle we drove right through the night. I guess it's time to face it, my last cattle drive. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. What about an old Flat and Scruggs number? Let's the Flat and Earl Scruggs. We'll get Mr. Zach to do this one down here. What year was this one wrote in there, Zach?
This was wrote in 1948, recorded in 1948 by Flat and Scruggs and the Foggy Mountain Boys back in their earliest incarnation of the band. They had just left Bill Monroe, and one of those first recordings is this one right here. Anthony, do you remember what label this was? Was this Columbia? Was this Decca?
It was Decca, I think.
Decca, 1948. Some really, really good stuff. It's hard to beat it. And it is one they did entitled The Cabin in Caroline. There's a cabin in the pines in the hills of Caroline, and the blue-eyed girl that's waiting there for me. I'll be going back someday, from her I'll never stray, in the cabin in the hills of Caroline. Oh, the cabin in the shadow of a pine, and the blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife, and we'll live a happy life in the cabin in the hills of Caroline. Packing up my grab on that long, long trail down to the hills of Caroline. Gonna see my blue-eyed girl, she's the sweetest in the world, in the cabin in the hills of Caroline. Oh, the cabin in the shadow of a pine, and the blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife, and we'll live a happy life in the cabin in the hills of Caroline. And when it's late at night and the moon is shining bright, and the whippoorwill is calling on the hill, gonna tell her of my love greater than the stars above. Well, I love her now and I know I always will. Oh, the cabin in the shadow of a pine, and the blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife, and we'll live a happy life in the cabin in the hills of Caroline. Oh, the cabin in the shadow of a pine, and the blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline.
someday she'll be my wife, and we'll live a happy life in the cabin in the hills of Carolina.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. We're going to get Anthony to play one on this old 5-string over here. What y'all think? What you got?
I just wish I knew how to play the banjo. Well, we just did a Flat and Scruggs number from early, so I'm going to do another one a little bit later, around 1962, that come off an Earl Scruggs record called Foggy Mountain Banjo. And if you're a banjo player, you're very familiar with that. It had all the banjo tunes like Foggy Mountain Breakdown and Foggy Mountain Special and all the famous Earl Scruggs tunes. And I'm going to send this out to my buddy Heath Loy over here. He said a little bit ago that I make banjo straps, and I do. He was one of my first customers probably 6-7 years ago. So I'm going to send this out to my buddy Heath out there as soon as Jamie gets to drink that Coca-Cola. Okay, here's a little bit of the ground speed. Thank y'all so much. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Thank you so much. We'll do one from our third project on Mountain Fever Records, another cowboy song. What about another cowboy song? We love that cowboy music. This is what I recorded. We get a lot of requests for this one. And I wrote this with Wayne Benson, the mandolin player for Third Time Out. You know Wayne, Benny, Mr. Wayne Benson. He's a great mandolin player, great songwriter. I've wrote a lot of songs with Wayne. And this was a cowboy song me and him wrote late one night going down the road on the bus. And we wrote it from the angle of a bounty hunter looking for a real mean fella. Now, if y'all have ever seen an old Western, you know this might not turn out good for the bounty hunter, right? And Mr. Wayne helped me write this one here. And it's called Tuning. No, I'm just kidding.
No. It's called tuning, key of B, or is it B flat, or is it C? Oh no. Oh no.
No, this is one I wrote with Mr. Wayne Benson, and it's called Black Smoke George. I crossed the place on Caney River down by the Meadow Green Ford, looking for a bandit fellow not many have seen before. His heart is dark, his eyes are yellow, he careth not for sure. In him came forth the cold-blood killer, they call him Black Smoke George. When he comes, you better run. If he comes, you better pray. Leads his way by God, always seem to get away. I made my way on down the river, I finally found his track. With second thoughts on moving in, it's too late to turn back. I realize I'm being followed, I know what's in his mind. Just as I make my move, he called me from behind. When he comes, you better run. If he comes, you better pray. Leads his way by God, and always seems to get away. Now he drug me 2 miles down the river, he tied me to this tree. He took my horse boots and my money before he said to me, "You're not the first that's tried to track me for a bounty fee." Black Smoke then pulled his gun and said, "Believe me when I say, when I come, you better run. If I come, you better pray. I lead my way by God, and always seem to get away. If I come, you better run. When I come, you better pray. I lead my way by God, and I'll always get away." Thank y'all so much. Thank you. We'll do another one here that we wrote. Myself and Zach Autry wrote this one. And his dad, I think, actually had a hand in this one. This is one we wrote a few years ago. We wrote it late one night. We were getting off stage tonight like 8 or 9 o'clock. And you got to be on stage tomorrow by 3, and it's 13 or 14 hours away. Y'all ever did that? You know, you just get off stage, it's like, okay, we got to charge and get to the next venue. Well, y'all, you'll find yourself in this place. Some of you maybe have been, okay? Y'all probably saw this place. It usually happens around 3 in the morning that you drive through this place, and it's a place called Delirious. Has anybody ever been there? It's a cool place as a songwriter. This particular occasion, we were driving through Delirious. And we were driving through there, and we woke up the next morning, and we found a song on the dash, and we didn't even remember writing it. We looked at it, and it was like, wow, man, that's a cool song, Zach. We looked at it, it's like, man, this is pretty cool. And right beside of it, there was this yellow piece of paper from the State Patrol. It's like, whoa, that was not cool. Not at all.
No, it's not. I'm not sure what felony means or subpoena. I don't know what subpoena means, but apparently we're supposed to go to court, and we never did.
I thought that was a small pineapple. Is that
That's
what
a
that
small pineapple. That's right. They also have those in Delirious. It's a tropical climate.
I don't know. I just play
Well, this
guitar.
is a song that we found in Delirious, folks. We found this song in Delirious, and it features Mr. Zach Autry, and it's on our previous. What is this song about that we found in Delirious?
This song is actually about a soldier from the hills of West Virginia, and he has his best gal there at home, and he's a young fella, and he's gone off overseas to fight. And it kind of tells the story of like the girl I left behind me, the old folk song. But he's made his way back from the fight, and he's about to settle down. And it kind of just tells the story a little bit, and kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger a little bit at the end as to how the story ends. But it's up to you to decide and to find out when you hear the song. It's one entitled, "Have You Seen My Blue Ridge Girl?"
1, 2.
headed back through the hills of West Virginia, looking for a lonely Blue Ridge girl I love. I hope that I can find where she is waiting. She's the darling girl that I've been thinking of. Have you seen my Blue Ridge girl from West Virginia? Does she speak about the boy who went away? If you see her, please tell her that I love her, and she'll have my heart until my dying day. Well, I left her many years ago forsaken, when the letter came that sent me off to war. She said when I returned that we would marry. Well, I said no man could ever love you more. Have you seen my Blue Ridge girl from West Virginia? Does she speak about the boy who went away? If you see her, please tell her that I love her, and she'll have my heart until my dying day. Someone said for many years she had waited for the soldier boy who never made it home. Her weary heart just could not seem to take it. Now they tell me that my Blue Ridge girl is gone. Have you seen my Blue Ridge girl from West Virginia? Does she speak about the boy who went away? If you see her, please tell her that I love her, and she'll have my heart until my dying day. Well, if you see her, please tell her I still love her, and she'll have my heart until my dying day.
Thank you. It's one called Have You Seen My Blue Ridge Girl? We thank y'all so much for coming out to the Old Pine Theater tonight. Thank you. Thank y'all from the bottom of our hearts. This has been so much fun. Big hand to the sound man back here. Thank you for a wonderful night of sound. It sounds great in here. You rocked it out. We sure appreciate it. We appreciate Ted and all the folks that work hard. Y'all follow the schedule here. I'm sure this is a great concert series. Great listening room, and we would love to see you again. Hopefully we can come back here sometime. This is the first time we've ever been here, and if we come back again someday, would y'all come back and do this again if we try to return? Thank you so much. Well, y'all just make sure to tell your friends, and we'll come out here and bring a friend along with this, and we'll try our best to do this again. We love this region up here. We hadn't been, like Zach said, the Mabatma Festival a few years ago. I think this is the first time we've been back in the last 4 years or so. So it's great to be here with you fine folks. Thank y'all for spending the evening with us. Go to our website, edgarloudermilk.com. You can see our whole tour schedule, everywhere we're going to be. We've got a busy, busy year. Join our fan club. We've got a fan club on there if you go to the website. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that social media, folks. It's going to catch on if we give it time. But you can follow us on there. And we'd love to send your messages, share your photos and stuff. But we have the Edgar Loudermilk Band page. That video of that song, I Hope She Sings, we did earlier, it's on the top of the page. If you like that, please share that video with us, the one that's up for Song of the Year. Thank you for that. And share it. We're trying to get more coverage on it. And we'd love for you to do that. And we would love to see you again. So follow us. And we would love to visit with you. We're going to be back here. We're going to be at the CD table. We've got some CDs, and we'll be visiting the table to visit with y'all again before we leave. And if y'all want to follow us to Hampton tomorrow, Hampton, Iowa is only two hours away. So if y'all want to come on to the festival tomorrow, we've got workshops at 10 o'clock in the morning if anybody wants to get up early with us. How about that?
Boy, we like to get up early, do stuff.
Yes, we do.
They share our enthusiasm, I
Yes.
Y'all share our exact same enthusiasm.
I'll tell you what, the only thing I find worse than going to learn at a banjo workshop at 10 o'clock in the morning is having to teach one at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I'll take your workshop in. I'll see what We're going to leave y'all with this one here. It's probably our most requested song. We love John Hartford. We've always been a John Hartford fan. He always sang about riverboats. If you listen to him, "Oh, where does an old time riverman go?" All the stuff about a river. He was actually a riverboat captain on 2 different river systems. And after we listened to a lot of John, we wanted to write our own riverboat song. And this is one that myself and Zach and his dad, Jeff Autry, all wrote together. And we'll leave y'all with this one here. Thank y'all so much. We love you. And here's one called The Lonesome Riverboat Blues. Now up this river and down again, nowhere is home and the water's my friend. Oh, no troubles around that bend. Lonesome Riverboat Blues. Now I jumped on board when I was 10. I worked in the Cali to pay my rent, scrubbing them decks, shining them shoes. Lonesome Riverboat Blues. On the mighty Mississippi, she was a Delta queen, the prettiest girl I ever had seen. 3 decks high, belching out steam. Lonesome Riverboat Blues. Now when my time comes and my river days end, say a little prayer and throw me in. To the bottom of the river I'll go, my friend. Lonesome Riverboat Blues. Now up this river and down again, nowhere is home and the water's my friend. Oh, no troubles around that bend. Lonesome Riverboat Blues. Thank y'all so much again. Thank you. Honey, you don't know my mind. All righty, we're going to do one more, and we've got a special request for Mr. Jimmy Martin. Y'all love Jimmy Martin? We love Jimmy too. I'll tell y'all a story. When I worked with Miss Rhonda Vincent, I played bass for her for about a year. The banjo player in the band was Mr. Kenny Ingram. If y'all know Mr. Kenny, Big K was something else. And I got to hang out one night because Kenny actually was with Lester Flatt in the Nashville Grass. He took Earl Scruggs' spot, but he also had a few years with Mr. Jimmy Martin, so he knew him very well. We were in Edmonton, Canada, and Kenny said, "Hey, Edgar, would you want to go hang out with Jimmy Martin tonight?" And I said, "Well, heck, yeah." And it was a big hero of mine, so we got to go out on the town, go eat dinner, and listen to stories. That guy was a mess. I'm going to tell you what, I had the time of my life hanging out with Jimmy Martin that evening, and it was thanks to Mr. Kenny Ingram, and I love Kenny dearly too, but I got to have a lot of fun hanging out with Jimmy Martin that evening, and I'll never forget it up in Canada. Yes, he was something else. Talking about them old coon dogs. Yes, he was. But we'll do one of his classic numbers and leave y'all. Thank y'all so much from the bottom of our hearts again. Thank you, thank you. Here's one called Honey, You Don't Know My Mind. Well, honey, you don't know lonesome all the time. Hey, I was born to lose, a drifter, that's me. You can travel for so long, but then a rambler's heart goes wrong. Hey, baby, you don't know my mind today. I've been a hobo and a tramp, my soul has done been stamped. Yeah, life's too short for you to worry me. It's fine that I can't win, I'm a checking out again. Hey, baby, you don't know my mind today. Slipping every old dirty jail. Now life's too short for you to worry me. I'm not here to judge or plead, but just to get this poor heart ease. Hey, baby, you don't know my mind today. Well, honey, you don't know my mind. I'm lonesome all the time. Hey, I was born to lose, a drifter, that's me. Well, you can travel for so long, then a rambler's heart goes wrong. Hey, baby, you don't know my mind today. I said, baby, you don't know my mind today. What about Bill Monroe? Well, back in the days of the childhood, in the evening when everything was still, I used to sit and listen to the foxhounds with my daddy's Kentucky hills. I'm on my way back to the old home. That road winds on up the hill, but there's a light in the window that shined long ago where I live. Now, sir, my childhood days are over, and I had to leave my old home. Mother and Dad called to heaven, and I'm left in this world all alone. I'm on my way back to the old home. That road winds on up the hill, but there's the light in the window that shined long ago where I live. That's the fondest spot that's in my memories. I'm on my way back to the old home. That light in the window I long to see. I'm on my way back to the old home. That road winds on up the hill, but there's the light in the window that shined long ago where I live. I'm on my way back to the old home. That road winds
the hill, but there's no light in the window that shine long ago where I live.
All right, happy birthday to Edie coming up here. Edie, happy birthday, okay?
Happy birthday to